Desire is like a fire. Fire needs space and oxygen to burn. The closer you get to the fire, the quicker the fire goes out. This is a candle. This is a lid to a candle. Do you know why there's a lid? So that when I'm done with the candle, I put the lid back on and it goes out. I get the lid closer to the flame and it goes out. Desire is your flame. You must give it distance for it to burn. Habibi, before you enjoy this video, do your boy a solid. I've got a goal to hit 7,500 subscribers by the end of June. So like the video and subscribe the channel. Wife gives me attitude and our bedroom is dead. Salam everyone. I'm 30, male, married to 27, female. And we have a 3-year-old child. I'm going to read this question out to you that was sent to me on Instagram because there's so much to unpack here. And you know what? Shout out to the guy who sent me this post because your account keeps saying account inactive, so I can't even respond with a thanks, but with a thank you. But thank you for sending it to me because this entire page on Reddit, Muslim marriage, is just a gold mine, an absolute gold mine of topics to dissect. So let's get into it. For 2 years, our bedroom has been dead. In the last 6 months, we've only had one intimate moment. All right, this is definitely classified as a sexless marriage. Sexless marriage is classified as any less than, if I'm not mistaken, 12 times a year. If I'm not mistaken. This has gone far and beyond the sexless marriage. She has female health issues and some hormonal imbalance, but the doctor says it shouldn't affect the bedroom. Every week I used to initiate or ask for sex. Mistake number one. Mistake number one.
This is haram.
Well, it's not haram, but it's a mistake. You don't ask. Okay, and I'll explain to you why at the conclusion of this question. But in the same way, okay, you know what? I'm going to save that. Let me save that for you. Let's just carry on. Rejected every time. Reasons are I'm tired, not tonight, on the weekend, etc. Oh boy, we know where this is going. It's nothing to do with her being tired or the weekend and so on. It's nothing to do with that. They are excuses. She is consciously avoiding intimacy with him. All right, she is avoiding it. And I'll explain why as we progress through this. I've had discussions with her about why this is happening and she doesn't reply. She stays silent. I have not stopped asking or initiating because I have now stopped asking or initiating because I feel there's no point anymore. I've told her once that we're living together like brother and sister, not a married couple that were once madly in love with each other. She doesn't show any sign of concern or care. Secondly, her attitude. Her attitude is off the wall. She shows me disrespect on a daily basis almost. In disrespect, I mean her gestures and body language is not appropriate. For example, 2 days ago, we disagreed on some trivial issue that I can't remember what it was. 5 minutes later, our little one wanted water, so I went to the kitchen with a cup while she was washing the dishes and said, "Can I get some water?" Her response, slapped the tap to turn it to the cold side with a slight huff. Why? Contempt. This is contempt. This is a woman who has not a low level, a high level of contempt towards her husband. And I'm going to show you what the comments were advising this poor gentleman. And I'm taking this video knowing that he will most probably see it because I would like you guys to copy and paste the link of this video and hit the top link that you see in the description right now and just post it into the comments. I've already posted it there. And in fact, you can just upvote my comment, okay? But post it again as well because I want him to see this response. It's very important. And I'm not taking shots at you, brother. Believe me. I'm going to provide you with some practical advice that I can guarantee you have not received yet. Just be patient. Another example. Last night, we were at my niece's birthday and our little one needed a nappy change. I was sat down with my brother-in-law and she tells me, go change his nappy. Oh my days. The disrespect, bruv. The disrespect. I replied in a humorous way. I don't think my grandma told my grandpa to go change nappies. So very interesting that he replied, or he says that he replied in a humorous way. This indicates to me that there is a certain level of apprehension, borderline or / fear that he has towards his wife. Fear, not necessarily of her per se, but fear of her wild responses, or of her disrespect, or of her embarrassing him in front of the family. So he was trying to de-escalate the situation by making a jokey sort of response. I'll be honest with you, man. If any woman spoke to me like this, I am whipping her into shape, metaphorically speaking, on the spot, on the double. And secretly, women, they hate it, but they love it. Sometimes you've got to put your foot on the throat. And sometimes you have to put your foot in the throat. I mean, like, deep in the throat. Sometimes it's got to be like touching it near the intestines, the stomach. According to the woman, of course. She insisted that I should go change the nappy. I felt a bit ashamed to be asked that, especially when I'm sat with my brother-in-law. I didn't do it, and she got annoyed, so she swung her arm as to make her way in a very rude and disrespectful way. I pulled her up later on the side and said, look, we're here to enjoy ourselves. Is there an issue we can talk about? If there's an issue, let's talk about it at home and not make a scene in front of them. Her response, your fault, not mine. Of course, solipsism on steroids. Since then, she hasn't been talking to me, as always, after an issue. The whole time we were there, she didn't spend 1 minute to check on our boy, whether he's eaten or had some water. And as always, I do the child caring. And I would suggest that the reason why this gentleman is doing the child caring is because he believes he can buy credit from his wife for sexy time later on. If I do the chores, if I clean the baby's bum, if I take care of the kid, I might just be able to bank myself some sexy time later on. And desire, as you guys, you already know if you've been on this side of the internet, cannot be negotiated. And I'm going to get to this at the end of the video. Any more that I can't force you to take a dump, bruv. If you have already been to the toilet and I say to you, go take another dump, you're just not going to be able to. You're going to be like, there's nothing to come out. It's done. If I say to you, eat, and you said to me, I've just had a feast, I'm full. If I eat anymore, I'm going to be sick. You won't be able to eat. Equally, if you are sick and you've lost your appetite and I force you to eat, you will tell me I can't. I'm going to be sick. It's a base instinct. Food, pooing, weeing, drinking, and futting. We're going to call it futting. All right? You can't force that. You can't negotiate that. If you've eaten, you're full. If you've drunk, you're no longer thirsty. If you've gone toilet, there's nothing more to come out. And in this instance here, if you don't desire someone, you can't force it. And this woman is experiencing or is displaying a level of contempt towards this man because she doesn't have any desire for him. And I'm going to go into the reasons why this could possibly be at the end. But there is also a possibility that she's just that she's a disrespectful woman in general as well. The desire thing, there's no doubt about that. But women, for example, who have daddy issues or who have been raised with a father but don't have a good image of him, they tend to find it difficult to respect a man. Her first experience of a man, her father, was tainted. And as a result of that, imagine you get on a plane for the first time in your life, okay? You've been looking forward to get on this plane. You can't wait. You get on the plane. It finally takes off in the air. Suddenly, one of the engines blow out. A pigeon flies into one of the engines, blows out. Plane comes crashing down. Smoke, fire, everywhere. Everyone dies except you. What will be the chances that you will step onto another plane again? And even if you do manage to find the courage to do so, will you be really looking forward to it? Will you be apprehensive and nervous and it's not going to be at the top of your bucket list, let's put it that way. Same here. When a woman has had a bad experience with a man, whether it's her father or an intimate partner, this tends to taint her ability moving forward to pair bond with other men. Hence the general disrespect that she is displaying. Because a woman cannot desire a man, but not be disrespectful as well. That's why I'm trying to separate the two, you see. Lacking desire and disrespect, they're two different things. You cannot desire a man, but still not embarrass him with this disrespect. So there's a cocktail of issues going on here. What do? He continues. I help out a lot at home. There you go. He believes that this helping out at home is buying him credit, and clearly it's not working, and he's confused. I tidy up, hoover, clean, even do the nappy changing on a daily basis. I sometimes even cook. Allah understand. Just because we both work and I sometimes see her tired, so I cook instead. I try to get close to her and get touchy. She repels my hands. Not once has she hugged me or kissed me on the cheek without me asking for it. What else can I do? I'm going to tell you, bro. Don't worry. I'm going to give you the solution. Bear with me. How are we towards our baby? I look after him more. I play with him. I feed. I brush. I brush his teeth. I make sure he drinks lots of water and fluids. In return, the boy loves me more than her. He doesn't sleep without me. Says it all. To the extent that my mum once spoke to me and said, "We've all noticed that when we gather, you don't eat until you've fed him. Why don't you get her to feed him for once?" This is so embarrassing. Coming from an ethnic family as well. Doesn't matter whether it's Arab, Asian, Somali. It doesn't matter. This is so embarrassing. This is embarrassing. I was speechless. So then we opened the discussion and told her about everything. I spoke to her mum, and her mum spoke to her, and her mum said she was silent the whole time and didn't utter a word. That silence is very, very telling. Her mum knows something that you don't, my brother. She knows something that you don't. The very fact that she stayed silent is an indication that she is aware of something. The usual response is to defend your child. Even if you already know your child's in the wrong, you can't help it. It's like, it's my child, right? She knows something you don't. And I'm going to get to what that could possibly be later on. What else can I do? What else should I do? I have a few options, but I'm interested to hear what some of you say first. Thank you if you've read this far. All right. Firstly and foremostly, if you have a question like this or you have a problem like this, please don't just go and put it on a random forum on the internet just because they got 35,000 members. All right. It's the same with democracy. You've literally democratized what advice you are going to take moving forward from laymen. Why should laymen have an opinion on anything? They shouldn't. You go to the experts. Never take advice from someone you are not willing to trade places with. Let me say that again. Never take advice from someone you are not willing to trade places with. Very important. I am not going to take advice from some fat dude who eats donuts all day long on how to get fit and in fighting shape. All right? I'm going to go to the boxing trainer for that. I'm going to ask him, how do I get myself into fight shape? How do I become a better boxer? But I'm not going to ask my boxing trainer a question regarding the religion, maybe Islam or comparative religion. I'm going to go to a scholar, either a scholar of Christianity or a scholar of Islam, because that's his area of expertise. And I'm happy to trade. I would be happy to trade places with him in that specific niche. Everyone has their role, their use. Okay, you must find someone that you respect his opinion in and ask him questions pertaining to that specific niche that he specializes in. And that's it. That's it. Unless he specializes in multiple niches, in which case you can ask him in multiple things. But you understand the point. The point is you must have a look at someone and assess if they are qualified to give you their opinion. Because not everyone is qualified. Not everyone should have a voice. Let's have a look at the comments and see what the comments are saying so far. So here's the great words of wisdom that the internet has to offer. You sit down with her and tell her things are bad enough, that your marriage is at risk now. And silence is no longer acceptable. She needs to talk. Okay. And someone said this right here, literally nothing else will work. I cannot tell you how utterly useless this advice is. Absolutely useless for the reason I just explained. If you are full, your hunger has been diminished. Your hunger has been satisfied because you've just had a massive meal. You've been fasting all day long. You're broke on your fast. You had your dates, your milk. You've had your curry, samosas. You've had your dessert. You've had your, you name it, gulab jamun and everything. You had the full 9 yards. How are you now going to tell me to eat another meal? I can't, I'm full. You can't negotiate a base instinct. You cannot negotiate a base instinct if you've just gone to wee or to defecate, to relieve yourself, and you just come down after you've fully emptied your bowels. And I tell you, go back upstairs and fill the toilet up again. You're going to tell me I'm a madman. I'm a madman. How? And even if you do, you might be able to just squeeze out another couple of drops And that's exactly what will happen when you try and force a woman to sleep with you. She might be able to squeeze a couple of drops of intimate moments for you, but they will be painful and difficult and, above all, forced. Very important. Anchor what I am telling you with the toilet analogy, with the weeing analogy, with the food analogy. Anchor it with that. If you're full and I tell you to continue eating, you might be able to shove a couple more morsels in your mouth, but it will be forced. It will be forced. And you don't want a woman who feels forced to sleep with you. You want her to want to sleep with you, to want to tear your clothes off. That's what you want. Let's see what other advice is up for offer here. Maybe she's frustrated at her job, but maybe she's not happy at home. But you sound like a very considerate man, so I don't know. Get closer to her and find out. Oh Lord, give me strength, Ya Allah. No, you must get further away from her, not closer to her. Desire is like a fire. Fire needs space and oxygen to burn. The closer you get to the fire, the quicker the fire goes out. This is a candle. This is a lid to a candle. Do you know why there's a lid? So that when I'm done with the candle, I put the lid back on and it goes out. I get the lid closer to the flame and it goes out. Desire is your flame. You must give it distance for it to burn, not closeness of proximity. I'll explain as we go along. Don't worry. Let's find one more comment. Let's find one more piece of advice. Short one, please. None of these long stories. You have to sit down with her and tell her exactly how you feel. You guys need couples therapy. With respect, big boy, we're seeing once again is utterly useless advice. Utterly useless. This is why you don't ask a layman for advice in something he is not an expert in. He is not well versed in. He at least has some level of knowledge in. You don't go to him for that. You don't go to him for that. Don't ask me how to ski. Don't ask Mahdi how to ski. I don't know nothing about skiing, bruv. I might use the ski erg in the gym, but that's about it. I can't help you. You're going to have to go to a ski expert. There's no shame in admitting what you can and can't help with. And this is a narrative that is popularly pushed in the West. You need to sit down and talk about how you feel. You need to get hungry. You need to build up an appetite. You need to stop eating, bruv. There's nothing to talk about. If you are full and you've stuffed your face and you can't eat anymore, no amount of negotiating is going to make you more hungry. You need to wait and let that food settle before you can eat again. Okay, firstly and foremostly, there is a possibility of one of two things. One, this sister has been previously married, and she has been alpha widowed. She has not moved on from her ex. For whatever reason, the new guy is just not living up to the same standard as the old guy. This is one possibility. The second possibility is that she is still alpha widowed, but it happened in haram. And I'm not making any insinuations here, but when mum stayed silent, bruv, when you brought this to her attention, that got my alarm bells ringing. That got my spidey senses tingling. In the least instance, mum knows something that she's not telling you. You're going to want to find that out. Now, practical advice for you. Maybe some of you gentlemen right now who are married and you may well be experiencing a similar situation. So what do you do? How do you remedy this? Well, it's difficult. If she's been alpha widowed, it's been difficult. However, there is recourse for you to consider in the interim. There is some instruction you can at least try. Firstly and foremostly, you must pull away. No more trying to prove yourself to her. No more trying to impress her. No more trying to help her. Disdain the things you cannot have. Turn away. Give her that space. Let her feel what it's like to not have you as involved as you have been. Don't explicate, demonstrate. Keep going back to the 48 Laws of Power. Indispensable book. Don't explicate, demonstrate. Pull away. Show her a touch of disdain. A touch of borderline contempt for yourself. Just pull away. You don't even need to say it. You must communicate this covertly. That's the language that women understand best. Just pull away. Okay, you don't want to stay with me? That's okay. That's fine. I mean, whatever. I mean, you know what? You're not that great anyway, to be honest. Tickle her. competitive drive, because women compete as well. Women compete as well. Don't get it twisted. I know men are the competitive ones, but women compete as well. Step number 1. Step number 2. You must immediately, without delay, begin courting the interest of another sister. And you must not hide this from your wife. I can't emphasize this enough. You must not hide this from your wife. She needs to know that you're considering another woman. You don't necessarily have to go through with it and marry her, but you want to instill some competition anxiety inside your first wife. That will remind her that she did actually marry a man who is desired, whom other women do want to be with, which ultimately is what hypergamy is. That's what women want. Women want men whom other women want. Women want men whom other women want. So let her see another woman pay interest in you. And finally, no more negotiation. No more sitting down trying to explain to her why this is such a messed up dynamic, why she should desire you, why you are such a good husband. This is something that cannot be negotiated. It's food, it's water, it's defecating, it's urinating, it's base. It's a base instinct. You either have it or you don't, and therefore you can't negotiate it. I cannot negotiate you to take a dump if you've already done one. Don't negotiate. Don't communicate. Your best recourse here is to just zip your mouth, stay silent, start courting the interests of other sisters, and covertly, not overtly, covertly communicate this to your wife so that she knows you are a man who is desired. And if you, my bro, want to book a consultation with me, you are more than welcome to. But in the least instance, at least follow the channel and watch the videos, because I have a feeling you need it.